Hi guys, welcome back to So Many Dice.
Hello everyone.
Today we've been playing Earth, and today we're going to give you our first impressions of the game.
Absolutely. Pete will ask me his usual questions and I will do my best to give my honest opinion about this, and I'm sure he'll chip in as well along the way. So let's get into it and see what happens.
Yeah, first off I'd like to say this has been a nightmare to get my hands on this game. I missed the Kickstarter because we weren't around back then. We tried to pick it up at the Games Expo.
And we went on the wrong day when
failed completely. They ran
out of stock, and we weren't going the second day when they were hoping to get a couple of more in.
And then they told me to order one from France. So I did, and then they forgot to ship it, and then they went out of stock.
It was a little bit of a long journey for this one, but you got it in the end.
Got it in the end.
And was it worth the wait?
No.
We'll find out. The whole purpose of this was to build the enthusiasm.
I'm only playing. I'm only saying it because I haven't won yet. I've lost every game.
He's had his butt kicked.
I have. It's been pretty rough.
Oh well. Let's see what we think of this, and you will hear some squeaking in the background, because there is some play happening outside of door by a dog.
Two dogs.
Two dogs.
But we'll try our best to get through this. Okay, first question. What did you make of the setup and the rulebook?
Loved it.
Loved it.
So easy.
Why did you love it?
Because I didn't do any of it. So I didn't do setup. I didn't actually read the rulebook. For the first time ever, someone read the entire rulebook by himself. And he did a great job because he then came and explained it all to me, watched the video probably as well along the way, and he was like, right, sit down, I'll teach you how to play this, and off we go.
And I haven't won a game since, so I did a great job, clearly.
But also, worth pointing out, Pete likes to claim the reason that I win games is because I read the rulebook and then I somehow have some kind of extra knowledge that he doesn't.
Yeah, that's true.
And some inside, knowledge that I haven't shared with him, or.
You do. You sit there reading a book, scheming, going, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that.
Case. So when
It's true.
This game came around and he decided to read the whole rulebook, guess what? I still won. So I would like to just point out that clearly I have a gift for this.
Anyway, we digress a little bit. So setup is really easy. You put out your fauna board with your animals. Each of these are double-sided, so you can take your pick. We just went pretty random. And you put out your objectives. So you've got your personal objective, which is on your player board. And you've also got two shared objectives. You give out your terrain cards. This card will always tell you on the corner how many cards you're going to draw, what you're going to compost, and how much money you're going to start with. Soil in this game. And that's pretty much it. You have a pool of canopies, you have your pool of growths, your soil, and your sprouts. And you're good to go. So setup doesn't take long at all. It's actually really, really quick. As for the rulebook, from what I remember, it was quite easy. It's all, as long as you get to grips with the iconography, it's a very simple game. That's the only stumbling block is the iconography. Once you've got that down, you're golden. I wouldn't say struggled. We got through the first game of it, and then second game we were done. We knew what everything meant, didn't we?
Yeah, we definitely got into it a lot quicker for the second time just because it was easier, and having this section here that explains your sort of symbols a little bit as you're playing along helps massively. So obviously going through the rulebook probably helped you familiarise yourself with some of the symbols, but having them at a glance here is also great.
Yeah. Let's go on to the next question. What do you think of the board and the components?
I like them. They all have a very earthy feel to them. Because, the colours are great. Everything's very, just really, really pleasant. And components are great. There's some things here we've never had, this whole kind of building block, and then you put this on top as well to kind of show that you've completed that little tower growth.
Yeah, the fact that it's all wood, right? It makes it... This all looks, I'm not sure if it is, but it all looks recycled.
There are no plastic parts to this as well, that we should say, which is a nice addition. Obviously with board games we all know just how much plastic goes into them, so it's nice to see that this is literally all compostable at
Literally,
one point if you needed to. Like there's not, they wouldn't leave anything behind essentially. So that is a nice touch to it, considering it's called Earth, and obviously it's all kind of centered around nature.
You didn't even get any plastic bags from what I remember.
Oh really?
I don't think the box came with any plastic bags.
So the message is clear. It is literally use paper and cardboard and obviously wood, and everything's just a lot friendlier that way.
Thumbs up.
Yeah, we didn't even get a pen for our board, so you have to use the pen that you own. We could have had a pencil maybe.
Could have come with a pencil. Isle of Cats, you did it right. Good job.
Yeah, absolutely.
What did you make of the theme?
Leads us quite nicely into that, doesn't it?
It is indeed.
Obviously, it's a great theme. We do like a bit of a kind of earth, nature inspired
very much
game. Is very much up our street. Anything that involves animals or nature, right up our street. So the theme
bang
is
on.
great. We really enjoyed. Obviously, we keep sort of like showing each other photography when we get to. Something interesting, or if there's like a fun fact that we need to kind of share with each other.
Yeah, the fact
it's been fairly.
I picked up probably the worst card I could have shown you because it's just soil. But on the bottom of all the cards, there's a little
fun fact.
A fun fact on all the cards, which I think is really cool because you pick up something that you've never seen before, and like this one, starfish fungus. That looks alien. I've never seen that. And it says it smells like rotten meat. I would never know that without this card.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. It's a really cool theme. So you get to see some very interesting, plants or potentially animals that you've never seen before.
Yeah,
so.
I think they did a good job.
Yeah, amazing.
Gameplay. What do you think?
It's an interesting way of playing. I will give you that. This whole sort of way of kind of picking the action that you want to do, and then the other player gets to do something as well. It's interesting, and I like it. It makes the game a lot more like the pace of it is just, you don't feel like you're waiting around too long.
Not really. There's always something to do, isn't there?
Yeah, and you're always sort of thinking, oh, do I have to do any actions? What about the colours on my cards? Does that mean anything? It's definitely a nice way of playing, and it worked well for the two of us.
It did. The first game, we did it very slow. So somebody would take the top action, and then the next person would take the bottom action, and we watched what each of it did. After that, we were basically taking the top action, and the next person was going with the second action, the bottom action, at the same time.
Yeah.
So it probably knocked a good 15 minutes off of the gameplay the second time we played it. Like, it got
quite easily.
way quicker.
Quite easily. I think the second time we played, it was so much faster, like you were saying, because we were almost overlapping a little bit while we were doing, almost, trusting each other that we're doing the right things. But the first time it helped to kind of run through what we were doing, just for the other to kind of understand a bit more, like the, what every symbol does and what everything does and how, it's all played. But yeah, the second time around, a lot quicker.
Yeah, there's so much strategy you can do as well, isn't there? There's a ton of things you can do to score points, whether it's grow your canopies or grow your sprouts, pick up terrain cards and try and get them done. There's a lot you can do to gain points in this game.
Yeah, and it just depends what your eyes kind of, grab, like what kind of grabs your attention a little bit, and then what you remember to sort of focus on. There's lots of ways that you can get points, like you were saying.
Yeah.
It's just almost like try to not get caught up in the play rhythm of it, that you forget that, at the end you might get some points for blue cards, or you might get points for whatever type of plant that you're putting into your tableau. But yeah, and also when you do any of the objectives, make sure you actually put your leaf on them so you can claim it.
Yeah.
So you can get a little bit caught up in the actions and sort of forget a little bit what you're doing. But you try and sort of keep scoring everything, make sure you get all your points.
Yeah. Right, what did you make of the ease of play?
I think it's fairly easy to play. It didn't take us too long to pick it up, to be fair. It was fairly easy. And it's a pretty relaxed game, I think. It's not...
I don't know.
I don't think it's too intense.
We played the first one and I was just going with it, and I was like, la da 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 da, this is nice, look at all the things I can do, this is fun. Second time...
Strategy.
Like, I don't even know, 15 minutes in I was watching you going, I suck and I need to get better, and I was getting stressed, like, look at everything she's got going on already. Yes.
I was stressed because you had way more cards on your board than me.
I knew you were absolutely winning from quite early on, and I was there like, I need to do better. So, but that's just me, you know, that's how I'm a bit competitive.
Whereas I mean, I don't feel like I am competitive. I tend to almost like focus so strongly on what I'm doing that I kind of don't take much notice of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because I think at one point we realised that he was nearly finishing and I was like, okay, fine, I'll try and kind of like speed up what I was doing.
But easy play, back to that, we digress again.
Yeah, no, I think it's easy.
Once you get around the icons, it's easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Yeah.
It is. It's
But it's not like I think it's not an easy game as in like you know it's a purely luck and you know you trying to kind of like just go along with it. Like you do use your brain.
Oh yeah.
But it's not intense and it's not like you know under threat of something. You know when you're you know like you're playing Cthulhu or something. You know and then you have that
rolling
kind of
the dice,
spawning thing and something's going to go wrong.
Surprise,
like that's what I mean. I feel like for ease of play that
It's
comes
just,
into a bit as well.
It's a strategy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's what strategy you want to go with to succeed.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Right, next one. Would you recommend this to a beginner?
Probably yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say so. Maybe a tiny bit intimidating just when you're starting off with lots of symbols that you have to remember and, you know, a couple of things here and there. But I don't see why this wouldn't be like a bit of a family favourite kind of play on a Sunday.
I'd give this to a beginner. Yeah, I think this would be fun. I would say this would be a great game for a more mature person. Like if I took this to my mother, for example, and put this down and went, look, Mum, there's pears and tomatoes in the game. She'd be like, ooh, lovely. But yeah, I think I could teach this to nearly anybody. Playercount, what do you think? We played it at 2 only so far. You can play it solo, and you can do teams, I believe.
Yeah,
up to 5 people.
Yeah, it's an interesting way. It's almost like you have 2 games in one. I liked the 2-player. I think obviously if you play with more people, I think I would like to actually play it to have an opinion on that because I almost don't see how this. I can't see it. It's more like I would like to see it live in action. You know how the whole that second part of the activity, the action picked by every player, how then it impacts the game. Because it feels like you would almost like wait around a little bit for you to pick the action, and you just kind of be at like the mercy of what's happening until you pick that. But I don't know. I think it would make it more interesting as a game. But
so I don't like the idea of playing anything as 5. I just don't.
5 seems a lot. 4 maybe.
I would play this at 4 because you can imagine it on the table like it's all.
Yeah.
It would work quite well, and the fauna board has all the spaces for 5 tokens, like these little leaves where you claim your points.
Yes.
It has that. So yes, somebody's getting 15, 11, 8, 6, 5, and then only one person can get the 7 points for completing the 4x4 grid. I think it would work. It would work well at 3, 4, 5. No, and I do want to play this solo just because I'm unhappy with my score so far, and I want to do better.
He wants to learn some tricks on his own, and then come back and apply.
I've only got up to just over 200, which is not very good.
But 205, and anyway, we'll tell you the rest.
All right, next question. Okay, what is your favourite part?
My favourite part were the terrain cards. Random.
Okay.
But I feel like that's how I won probably most of the cards, most of the points in both games.
The terrain cards or the fauna cards?
The terrain cards. So the ones that I've picked where
right.
I feel like they give you an advantage. Some of them where some of your cards cost less. But also at the end, depending on obviously like where you put them on your board or what kind of abilities they have, you can score like pretty good chunk of cards.
That was a good one for me.
At the end, 3
So this
points
is 3 points for every
terrain card.
Yeah.
So I feel like they have some really, really good abilities. I had one where I essentially could recount my compost stack only up to 30 points, but I did have all of those, and I essentially gave myself another 30 points. So I feel like they're a bit of like a hidden, like a secret sneaky weapon type if you're...
Yeah, it's like having more personal goals, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think mine would be the fauna board and the animal cards. Just because I like to have my eyes on a target. And so looking at it, I could be like, oh, 4 plus flora, each with 6 points. Okay, that's my first objective. Next objective.
Do that.
And I kind of tick my way off the list going around the board. That's how my brain works, but so far I haven't won, so don't take my strategy. Okay, next question. What do you make of endgame scoring?
An elaborate process. No, I'm joking. It's maybe a bit of an exaggeration. It's not too bad actually, but there are lots of ways that you get points in this game. So, it's for an exact number. Just bear with us.
10
ways
things you have to score
that will give you your total score. And the scores are in 3 digits, so you will get a lot of points, which to be fair, I actually quite liked. It does give you that sense of achievement.
Oh yeah. No, sense of achievement. When you finish the game, you've got that last, 7 points, I got the full grid.
Yeah, and also
good.
You don't feel like you won with 22 points, or you won with 233 points.
Arc Nova, you won with minus 14 points.
Yeah, that's... I have a problem with Arc Nova around the points. Yeah, so I think the end game scoring is really good in this game because you have lots of ways, and to be fair, until the very end you might get a bit of a hint as in who might be doing better, but equally I feel like it can also be a surprise at the end.
Totally can, absolutely can be a surprise, because really all you know is that for sure, right? And then you've got an idea of how many sprouts and how many growths and canapes there are.
Canapes.
I'm hungry. I haven't had lunch, okay? I'm hungry.
Canapes.
Canopies. But when it comes to your terrain cards, that is like a hidden weapon that you're just waiting to go, and there's this.
Yeah. And obviously you have your own, end game scoring card here as well, like your objective. So there are honestly lots and lots of ways, and it can be until the very end.
Yeah.
Who's going to win. So.
I think end game scoring is actually very, very good. I enjoy this. This is good.
He needs a sandwich. Final thoughts. What do we think?
Final thoughts.
Is this a good game?
It's a good game. It is a very good game, actually. I can see why there was so much hype behind it. I really can. I could see why it got sold out twice. In quick succession.
Great photography, great elements. There's lots of good things going on for this game. I think the theme of it, I'm still a really big fan of it, and like I said, the fact that it's just created in a more sustainable way, that's always that is a big plus for me as well. So yeah, I think it's a great game. I think we should definitely play this a bit more. I'll teach you some tricks. Maybe you win next time, and we'll see. Maybe you will not make a barbecue with this game.
I said, actually, I did say after 2 plays, I was like, this is the first game going on Facebook Marketplace. But I was joking. We do like this game. What would you score it 1 to 10?
Ooh, maybe an 8.
An 8?
Yeah. What would you score it? I'll tell you why afterwards.
I will go with... Oh, I'm torn. 7.5.
Okay. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I don't think the scores are saying it's not a great game.
It is a good game.
I think it's just in comparison with some of the others that we have.
What does this game remind you of?
A bit of Meadow. A bit of Wingspan.
Definitely Wingspan. This definitely reminds me of Wingspan.
I think it's almost like Meadow meets Wingspan meets something else, I feel. But I don't know which one. We'll work it out. But anyway, definitely those two. So if you like those two, you'll probably like this as well. It's almost like a more mature version of Meadow. It's not like the cutesy illustrations. This is like actual photography and landscapes and really cool, really cool sort of plants and all sorts of animals and things in here. But it is a great game. Let's not carry on too much on that stuff. There's only so many times we can say that we really like this, right? So absolute thumbs up from us. We will carry on playing, and fingers crossed for Pete that he wins next time, so he feels a bit better about it.
Thank you for watching, guys. Thank you for liking, comment, subscribing. Please continue to do so. We do very much appreciate it.
Thank you, and hope you guys come and see us on the next video.
See you soon.